Welcome in Aventur, Adventures in Lollygagging. This is my last time mangling that. We are playing Magnus Archives. We're talking a lot about juice. Everyone's got a favorite juice. Maitrey, what's your favorite juice?
My favorite juice is actually the low acidity apple stuff that you can get in like juice boxes.
How high maintenance of you. That's exactly what I would expect. I'm sure you have a specific brand too that it's got to be, right? And if your partner gets the wrong one, you send them back to the store.
Oh, you know what? It's I actually found out the other day it's mostly cultural because like in India, like juice boxes aren't really a thing. So like I get juice boxes here and my partner is like, juice boxes are for like toddlers. Like I'm like 7 toddlers put together, so
it's a convenient receptacle.
So I like the juice box apple juice.
Juice box apple juice. Long, what's your favorite juice?
I'm gonna go with orange juice and get a little wild with it. Max pulp.
Maximum pulp.
I love puppy juice.
I like the one that says some pulp.
It's all
Sopranos reference. Anyone? No? Come on, guys. I should be able to quote a 20-year-old show without dead air. Melissa, what you got?
I'll go cranberry.
I almost did a
With
departed reference there.
though, right?
I'm sorry?
With vodka, though, right? Because
I mean, just a straight like
virgin cranberry juice.
Like if we like go out to breakfast, like that'll be what I would get as breakfast to be cranberry.
And she always gets weird looks whenever she asks for it, just so everybody knows.
I don't see those looks.
I know you don't.
That's why you keep asking for it. If you saw him, you would stop. You'd be shamed into it. Jeff, what's your favorite juice?
Long had an excellent answer, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna go a different route. I also agree that high pulp is the best way to go. Pineapple juice. Pineapple juice.
Ooh, good call.
Why pineapple juice?
Well, partly because it just tastes awesome, and secondly because it's a reference to Psych, and third, like pineapple. I have like a random pineapple on my office at work, and people think I'm a swinger. It's pretty cool.
I do love a good Psych reference. We were talking about that in Discord. Are you guys in Discord yet? You all should be.
I was thinking of the Psych convos in Discord today.
We're there because Steven had a egregious grammatical error in his back.
And I got to say, I've heard it both ways, which is one of my favorite Psych quotes. So I should have messed things up more often. Ashley, what's your favorite juice?
Oh, I'm a grape girl.
Grape juice? All right, I can see that. Mm-hmm. I like a good grape juice.
Grape or white grape. There's so many options.
Oh, you're talking about wine.
Why gotta make it like that, Ashley? Jeez. Come on. All kinds here.
Yeah,
I like a good Cabernet grape juice. You know, that's fine.
He says to the non-alcoholic, like, I don't drink. I almost poisoned Jeff once. Like, let's be real.
Yeah, and for me, my favorite juice is this game because Magnus has the juice. Hey, see what we did there? See what we did there?
You stole Jeff's joke.
All right, don't worry, he's gone. I don't deal with
he can't hurt you now.
How do you guys want to end this thing? Like, I don't know. We don't have the GM to end it, so now we have to like come up.
Oh, this is that theater of the mind thing we were talking about earlier. Okay, yeah. So in my reality, we kill every spider. It's so cool. And then we rebuild the door. Long becomes the doorman, and then the rest of us leave.
Oh, that's
crazy.
Sweet. That's cool. It's cool. It's cool. Melissa, do you have an idea for how we're gonna end instead? No, she can't even unmute. Look at this. Look at this. All right.
I'm taking over the role of Steven. It's perfect.
I was getting shamed for not muting enough, so now I'm going to overmute, and so this is what we have. Man. The next door we open is the door to outside. That's
okay.
Oh, that's good.
Okay. Long, how do you think it's gonna end?
Probably just all kill each other. No one gets out of here.
Yeah,
that sounds about right.
Yeah, that sounds about right. It's true. Okay. What about you, Maitrey?
Oh, definitely a TPK. Like, we are for sure dying, like, before we get anywhere that could reasonably be an exit.
Oh crap, we're live. Hello, welcome in Abentur Adventures.
Welcome in Abentur.
We're playing Magnus Archives today. I'm Steven, God's gift to humanity.
Dude, the stats, seriously, like the first 15 seconds of Magnus were huge in Germany. Every second after that was, but they did all just turned it right off.
That's pretty normal for me. You know, I'm good for about 15 seconds, and then I peter out.
No,
dude, inappropriate, man. That's inappropriate. Come on, man. I like how Ashley's covering her eyes.
The cringe. I
don't need to see myself being a part of this.
When we do our freaking rewatch and reaction of this in like 4 years, we're all gonna cringe for this. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah,
I'll be proud of that joke. I will not mature in 4 years.
That's a
prediction. Pup joining, jumping out of nowhere.
Pippin is very excited.
And another pup. All right. Now that we got all the dogs on board, let's dig in. Last session, stuff happened. You guys were going through a place called the Darkest House, I believe it was. You met a sort of like creepy being in a creepy place that was kidnapping a kid. You saved the kid. You killed the creepy being. Turned out the creepy being was the kid's sister, but you didn't want to tell the kid that because you don't think the kid is actually a kid because it's got no shadow. He does have juice, though. He's been sipping on a little juice box the whole time. You then continued through the Darkest House with your Green Lantern ring, as Lucian likes to call it. What are we? Oh, the keyboard. I did hear it. You're right.
She's murdering the keyboard.
Muted.
You heard it.
Gosh darn it. Where's my brain?
I don't know.
Melissa, do you need a new keyboard like every 3 months or so?
No, like it's perfectly fine. It's just I'm gonna mute myself now. Bye.
And we're back to the radio sound effects. Welcome back. Welcome in Aventura Adventures in Lollygagging. Let's start this over again. What is going on? I am fully prepped for this, guys. As I said, I've got the juice. So you, where was I even talking about? You were wandering with the kid further into the house. You found this cave-like room that was bisected in half with a glass wall and a glass door. On your side of the room, not much happening. On the other side of the room, however, cage spiders. Literally spiders that seem to be made out of cages. They have metallic legs, these like bird cage-like bodies. Inside of those bird cages, little like balls of like lint, like black lint, black fluff. They also had mouths with far too many teeth for these metallic spiders, organic teeth. You all tried to distract the spiders to test them to see how quick their response time was. You learned that the door was locked a little bit later than you should have. You then unlocked the door, opened the door, threw a flare and an energy bar because maybe they eat energy bars. And then the spiders tried to kill you. You shut the door again and debated for another half hour if you should open the door. You ended up deciding you should open the door again. We spent a long time in this room if you missed the last session. We spent a long time in the room, but
do you remember
don't
how
worry,
we decided?
We're still in the room.
Do you remember how we decided?
Yeah, you wanted to throw the kid in there.
No. Do you remember how we came to our decision?
I asked
50-50
you...
roll.
Oh, that was it. A coin flip. Yeah. Was that worth interrupting for, Jeff? Was that really like an important enough detail?
It was.
I am feeling very sassy this week, guys.
Melissa
my poor wife has been.
Right now. She has no idea. I
just can't get it right.
Okay, so you mute when you're typing and you unmute when you're talking.
It's supposed to be
her
red.
first time doing this, Jeff. She's never done this before.
I know you'd think.
You see right there, I muted while I was laughing so I wouldn't laugh into the mic.
But laughing is how everyone knows that we're having fun.
I'm not having fun. This is not a fun game. This is Magnus Archives. We're all very super serious. This is Darkest House. The Darkest House hates you. No one has fun.
Also, you're lying.
Anyways, we left with you all opening the door, running in. We are jumping right into a combat, y'all, with Zander and Emily in the front, Lucian, Naveen, Frieda in the back, and a random kid going into a very dangerous fight, it seems like. So I need everyone to roll speed tests here. Rating 3. If you pass rating 3, you are going first in initiative. If you fail, you are going last. Emily and Zander, I will give you both a boost because you're at the front. So you are only trying to beat rating 2.
Was it Emily and... or I thought Lucian grabbed me and we ran in.
Yeah, I think I was actually in the front.
Yeah.
Because there's also the
Don't
ring
you
thing too.
Dare contradict a GM. Do you know how much money I've made on Backer Kit and you're calling me wrong?
I do know.
I have
I've been very active on Backer Kit. Boy, I can't wait to run Huckleberry tomorrow. Really show the system off. Can't wait.
And I feel like
I think we roll 4 dice. Do we roll 4 dice for a check?
I think I asked this last
Frieda,
time.
You get a boost. You're trying to beat rating 2. The rest of y'all, let's say rating 10.
Okay. And the fact that I am down to 0 in an attribute doesn't mean anything. It just means that I can't spend anything.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Who passed?
15 to pass.
1 pass? Just Zander?
Pass as well.
I also did
Also
15.
All right. So that leaves Naveen and Emily as failures, right?
Yeah.
Not in life, just in the roll.
Wow. Wow.
I'm sorry. I'm so sassy today.
Clearly in the roll and
corner.
in life, because that was a label.
I love you all. Please forgive me for my transgressions tonight. They will not stop, but I do feel bad for them.
It's okay. We'll just put you in timeout for nap time tomorrow. It's okay.
All right. Those of you who passed, you can go in any order. Lucian, Frieda, since you two were towards the front, it makes sense if you go first. But yeah, you guys just, you open the door, you start bolting through before the spiders have a chance to really get at you. They definitely notice you, and they are very much aware and very fast critters that are scurrying around this this cave system. You know that there is a well off to your right, and there was some sort of voice coming out of that well named Rald. He seemed very friendly. He wanted you to come save him. And towards the back end of this room, it's going to take probably 3 movements to really get into the tunnels, like that are where they start to narrow down. Towards the back end of the room, there are tunnels that lead out. What are you two doing? What are you 3 doing?
Lucian and I were hauling ass, so I think we're just fucking trucking, right?
Yeah, I think so too.
All right, so you normally get a move and an action in Cypher, but I'd say that if you want to, if you were just focusing on sprinting, you two were prepared, you could get 2 movements if you decide not to attack or anything like that. So you would be 2/3 of the way across this room.
I'm cool with that.
Lucian is also cool with that. Yes.
Okay. That leaves Zander. You were not prepared. You can only get 1 movement. I'm joking. You were prepared. You can run. I don't.
Hang on, kid. I'm going to pick up the child.
All right, so you got Rowan. How are you? You said piggyback?
Yeah, reverse piggyback, so I've got him cradled. Almost like a football.
What's a
and I'm
reverse
charging.
piggyback?
So, like, yeah, he's like
Arms
baby
around,
koala
hugging,
grabbing.
belly.
like hugging.
Yeah.
I think you're just holding him at that point.
Yeah. Then I'm going to run through the room.
Okay. I do think it's fair to say that because of the kid, it slows you down a little bit. You can get 1 movement. Let's do another speed test. We'll say rating 3. If you're able to pass it, you get the extra movement because you're holding the kid.
Okay. Can I apply gymnastics to this?
I don't think so. You're not really being
Okay.
agile with the kid. If anything, I would take a might test if that's better for you.
Okay, I'll do might and then apply some points to reduce the difficulty.
Okay.
I have an edge of 1, so I'll do 2 out of the pool.
All right, so you're just looking for rating 2 check?
Oh, I rolled a 3. Of course I did.
All right. So how does this look? How does Rowan slow you down?
He's really fussy about the spiders. He's dragging me down, pulling me, giving me resistance.
He's doing earmuffs, but he's doing it on your ears, and he's just kind of like pulling them down, pulling your head so you can't really see as much. You are running, and you're getting a good distance, but because he like yanks your head, you can't quite see where you're going, and then a spider scurries out in front of you. And we'll go ahead and have it target you first, since you're in the dead center of the room right now. Zander, this is going to be another speed test to avoid. It is rating 3 as one of these spiders. You hear the metallic legs clinking across the stone. There's a whole cacophony of them because there's a dozen some spiders in this room, but one of them specifically is cutting you off. Are you able to avoid it?
It'll be all right. We can get through this. I'll do 2 to ease on speed as well. I rolled twice on exit. I got a 13.
You're lucky the first one was what you get, because the second one was a GM intrusion. All right, 13. How are you dodging this as it rushes in front of you and it lunges at you?
I'm waiting for it to strike and then using that opportunity to avoid, go around it.
So you dodge it. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know what I'm doing tonight. This campaign has the juice. I've probably had too much juice. It's starting to affect me. That is the first spider. I'm not going to have all 12 spiders go here. That doesn't feel generous. So we're going to go with them in groups, essentially. We're going to say that, Zander, that was one group that is descending on you. Frieda and Lucian, you have another group descending on you. I'm going to go ahead and roll. Odds will be Frieda. Evens are going to be Lucian. Lucian, you have spiders coming at you. Give me a speed test to avoid them. Rating 3.
Okay. Will my gymnastics help me here? Because I can do like a floor routine or something.
I think for dodging, it would help more, yes. Sorry, Zander. I should have given you that for the dodge. All
right.
I meant more for like carrying the kid. The gymnastics wouldn't be as useful.
Okay, here I go. So glad parents put me in those gymnastics classes. 19, minor effect.
All right, so you describe what happens with your minor effect. You know, like the limits. You got a minor situation change that you can pull off.
Could I do something to make it so that my sister gets some sort of benefit on her roll if she gets attacked as well?
Yeah, we could say, since you're doing gymnastics, maybe you do some sort of stunt to like pull the whole pack of spiders towards you, so she'll have a little bit easier chance on her next turn.
Yeah, so surprisingly, they all come to me, and I'm like, "Go, Frieda, go!" And as they do, I essentially vault over top of them, because they're small and they're skittering, and then I just kind of run, and then I kind of do the pole vault thing and flip over top of them. It is completely out of character.
On
my character sheet.
One point of order is that they're not that small. They're about the size of German Shepherds. So that does make the vault even more impressive.
German Shepherds are not that big.
It's like the Starship Troopers, where they're playing football and the people come to tackle him, and then he jumps over them, and he jumps 15 feet in the air. Anyways.
Just like this, yes.
I love that movie.
They sucked his brains out.
Honestly, one of my favorite movies. So we have one pack left, and it is rushing towards the open door where Naveen and Emily are standing. I'm going to roll odds and evens again. Odds will be Naveen, evens Emily. That is a first. It is not Emily.
I know. I would have put money on the fact that was going to be even.
Me too.
It's because I rolled in Forge instead of in person, so I couldn't lie. Naveen, you have these spiders descending upon you. I need a speed test rating 3.
Speed test rating 3. I had rolled that before already for my initiative.
That was for initiative. This is to dodge now.
Okay. 20. Major effect.
And a major effect. What does this look like? We're going to say that you and Emily had started into the room and like you're not quite bottlenecked here. But you were succeeding in dodging lays and you get to like make a change to the narrative.
I'd love for the success to carry over to Emily, similar to what Lucian just did with Frieda.
You can do that, but it's a major effect, so you actually get a little bit extra too if you want. You could even say that we could reframe this. Sorry, go ahead.
No,
what was your idea? We could reframe it to like even like damaging one of these spiders somehow so the pack thins out.
I was actually going to recommend the pack being a little away from us because one of the things she has is a survival kit which has flares in it. And keeping in mind that they reacted to movement, I was wondering if I might throw a flare like away from us to try and get them slightly distracted.
So we'll say that this whole pack, regardless of who they attack next turn, will have whoever is defending will be boosted. They'll have an edge on the roll.
Awesome.
All right.
Actually, I'm so sorry to interrupt. While we're talking about edges,
not allowed.
I'm just reminded, does that figurine come into play for you at all, Jeff?
Mine, unfortunately, is depleted. It has a depletion of 1 in 6, and I got to use it once before it was depleted. I rolled a depletion and immediately depleted.
I just wanted to make sure.
Are you talking about the ceramic figurine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff, that one actually does not have a depletion of 1 in D6. It should not actually have a depletion on that one. I'm sorry.
Okay. It would have come into play, but like I passed both my rolls tonight, so it's no big deal.
Cool.
Who set up this artifact? Some sort of idiot. Doesn't know how the rules work in Cypher. I'm sorry. I'm not even putting on a good show anymore. I'm just harassing myself and my friends. Naveen, Emily, it is your initiative. What are you two doing in either order?
You go ahead, Emily. I just went.
I'm beelining it for, like, kind of following, I think, where Frieda went, perhaps?
Yeah.
Kind of where she's headed.
All right. So you do have spiders that were descending upon you, but Naveen threw the flares, so they're not even in the way anymore. If you wanted to do the same thing where it takes your full turn, I think because you were in the back, it'll be a little bit more difficult. So you can get the move like normal, and then for your action, I'll require a speed test to get that second movement in.
So she'll kind of in Naveen's direction, Donka, and she takes off as fast as she can. I am obviously still out of speed, so this will be and I don't have any stuff that helps with this. So, well, let's ask. I have endurance is my library's pupil.
I think endurance is perfect for running. As someone who tries to avoid running quite often, I know endurance would be helpful if I did do it, and I don't have any endurance because I don't do it.
So Emily. Emily has 2 when I rolled that Cypher. So I've got 2 performances of the action.
Which Cypher? I'm sorry.
Sorry, librarian's pupil.
Yes. Okay.
Once activated, this boost can be used a number of times equal to the Cypher level, and 2 was the level of the Cypher. So this is the first of 2 activations that I can do with that.
So you just have to beat rating 1.
Awesome.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's 3 steps. You ease it by 3 steps. So you actually pass regardless, but you would have gotten to roll to see if there was an effect.
Okay. I did not get an effect, so I pass.
All right, so what does this look like? As you were in the back, Zander is getting slowed down by Rowan. There are spiders in front of him, and you're zooming past Zander.
So I would say this sort of looks like she does the odd, like, you'd think there's just a whole lot of things going on and she's just going to kind of take off, but she does the little like sprinter, like crouch setup kind of a thing, and then just kind of takes off.
Fantastic. And you just do a quick shoulder roll around Zander as he stops directly in front of you and continue moving past.
That I do quickly.
Naveen, you're up.
Just doing the same bookend forward.
All right, so we're doing another speed test. We are. I prepared, very complex encounters that require speed for everything.
I got a 9. A 9 is just enough.
All right, yeah. Without anything lowering it, so you're able to run. How does it look for you as you go past Zander as well?
I don't think it's a lot more complicated than just kind of booking it past him. But she will say over her shoulder as she passes him, "That's not a real child." Keep going.
What a horrible thing to say to a kid.
I don't care.
You're not real.
Not my problem.
You
Long
don't say
will
it
deal
to the
with
kid.
Which is funny
I
because
said technically, she did not say it to the kid. She said it to Zander.
Thank you.
The kid just overheard it.
Thank you.
Actually.
well, because the kid was earmuffing Zander. So, like, maybe Zander heard it, maybe not.
But the kid definitely heard it, despite not being talked to. All right, so that is the end of the round. We're back to the top of the round. Initiative again from everyone. Speed test, difficulty 3.
Natural 20.
Hell yes.
I got a 4, so a 1 success.
11 is a pass.
19. What the fuck is happening?
Wow.
How am I supposed to challenge you guys when you
I
pass?
don't understand how to behave in a game when I'm rolling this way.
I failed.
All right, so Lucian and Naveen, you both got effects. What do you think those effects should be?
Fucking no. I don't know. Like, what happens when things go well?
Yeah. So, like, how much flexibility do we have here? Because I don't want to I have an idea, but it also feels like it's actions and stuff. So like, I don't want to take that away. What do you think?
I think there's room for actions. It's an effect should have a narrative change to it, kind of like a GM intrusion can. So if you did an action to change the narrative, that'd be fine.
Can we say, because mine could even just be good fortune. So like, I'm running. I've got my messenger bag, and a few cans of my spray paint fall out and roll in a very fortuitous direction amidst a cluster of the spiders. So that like on top of it. So if one conceivably tries to shoot the can, the compressed, that sort of thing. So like it's like in position, stuff just kind of falls, and maybe they're stumbling over it or curious and poking at it, and it gives me options on my turn.
Oh, awesome.
How does that?
Yeah. So we'll say that the cans fall. You hear them clank to the ground. You turn and you look, but you're still focused on running. You're not stopping for them.
Sorry.
Oh my god!
I thought that was
There's
Jeff
a
with the
German
radio
Shepherd
sound
side
effects.
No,
spider.
that was my dog. I'm sorry.
How dare you have a
The
dog?
spiders bark. Oh,
And the spider barks.
I'm really
and then it
sorry.
bites
My
in this can that
neighbor
rolls.
is moving, and like every so
Yes.
often there's a noise in the hallway, which just sets Pippin up.
The spiders, we've established that they are like T-Rexes, and they follow movement. And the cans roll, and one of the spiders goes, and it immediately bites the can, and this black mist just sprays everywhere, creating a cloud over this cluster of spiders. Naveen, you have a
Hell
minor
yes.
effect. What would you like to do with that?
Okay, tell me if this is too much. Can my minor effect be that the rest of the way that we have to run, instead of being a flat surface, is actually kind of a downward slope, thereby reducing the DC for everybody's future rolls? making it easier to run.
I think that probably would be a bit too much for a minor effect for everyone, but there could be an effect that would give you or one other person an ability. So we could say, if we wanted to build on Jeff's thing, that the one spider that like had the cloud of dust, it like begins recoiling and shaking, and it knocks a bunch of spiders out of the way for one person.
Oh, that would be great. And Jeff's in front right now?
So Jeff hasn't actually gone yet, but he, Frieda, and Emily are all about, and you actually, you all four of you are about the same distance through this room.
Okay, so let's do what you just said, if that's okay.
Okay, so who do you want to give the boost to?
I'd love to give it to Jeff because I feel like he's front and major effect and everything.
So that was our minor effects resolved. Now we have to actually do actions because that's how this game works. You two both had minor effects. Let's keep the focus on you first. What are you two actually doing here?
I'm just moving forward still, like nothing really complicated.
Okay, Lutzen is going to do something more complicated as we moved two spaces. You said 3. So, and we get a movement and an action. So suddenly things slow down like a John Woo movie, and Lutzen realizes he is moving much lighter because his paint cans have fallen out. So he's continuing to move, but as he does so, he spins. So his gymnastics is kicking into play as he's stumbling backwards, and he sees paint cans spread about here and there. One explodes on its own as a stupid spider who's the size of a German shepherd bites into it. But then he sees like Zander in the back struggling with this child, and so he's going to try to shoot the can, another can that is nearest to Zander, like that might affect a spider. So this kind of slow motion turn. And if I miss, it's okay if you want to say it hit Zander. It is okay. It is tragic, but it is the finale, and we should do things like this.
He doesn't need
out of nowhere, by the way, I have a trench coat. It's wonderful.
All right, so this trench coat that just appears, slow motion spin from inside the pockets of the trench coat. Doves go flying out. Gun pulls out. You meet again a speed test for ranged attacks.
Doing all of this while leaping off of a dirt bike.
Major effect,
Tom
baby.
Cruise.
Okay, the bad news is that I'm not actually good with a gun. I don't have these skills. So sorry. But
you've got the vibe. You've got you just need the vibes.
Yeah.
I'm
what I am going to do.
Well.
So I am going to, because this is an important moment, I'm going to tap into Squirm, which is like an adrenaline jolt, eases the action. It's an instant, eases the action you are taking by 3 steps. I also have the ceramic figurine. If you think that this counts at the same time, that would that gives me an edge on a die roll. So as I'm like twisting, okay, like this jolt of adrenaline goes through me. Maybe it's like the pommel horse thing I did. Maybe it's just like how fast I'm moving, or just the seriousness of the moment. Suddenly things kick in. Like this whole time, I don't know how much I've told everyone. Steven knows this, but like one of Lutzen's fears, his biggest fear, is that he once had an experience where he got like sort of bizarrely trapped inside of a warehouse when he was trying to like, do some of his tagging, and like it was like very labyrinthine, and he always got the feeling that there was like a presence that was chasing him. If he didn't keep moving and keep moving and keep moving, something was going to, like something was catching up to him, and so he got out of it. And so this whole time he's been like very anxious and wanting to move. It doesn't really like staying still. And so like this moment of adrenaline kicks into him, and he turns and he fires, and just sort of relying on pure instinct at this point.
And with Squirm giving you the adrenaline jolt, that would make it an automatic success.
Okay. So I should still roll just in case. I get
Yes.
a 20. I can get a major effect, like it bounces and goes through Zander's temple.
And the best part about Jeff
pretty good.
having this fear of labyrinthine spaces is that he didn't even know we were playing Darkest House yet. It fit pretty well, and I did not allude to it whatsoever, but I did remember it multiple times. All right.
Which is why deliberation was driving him fucking crazy.
Yeah, that was not
so
Jeff.
Close
that was
to an effect.
Lucia.
You were like more than 18. It was so close.
Sometimes things just sync up perfectly.
I don't roleplay myself.
Sometimes your character and the player just kind of sync up. Anyhow, but yeah, I turn my fire.
And that cloud of gas gives Zander a much needed opening for these spiders as that black paint goes flying. Rowan just screams at both the gunshot and the explosion, pulls on Xander's ears even harder. Zander, it is your turn. I'm sorry, Naveen, you haven't gone yet, have you?
I think Naveen went first.
Was muted.
I think.
Sorry, Mel. I think you're on the right track. I was just moving forward, not really doing anything.
Okay. So you got past. You are past the bulk of these spiders at this point, so it makes sense that I'll just give you the 2 movements then. That's fine. And then, Zander, you did pass your initiative as well. You are essentially surrounded by 3 packs of spiders, but your friends have been making it easier on you. The pack that's behind you has been attracted by flares and pulled away. The pack that is directly in front of you is now being distracted by this exploding paint can. And then the pack that is a little bit further beyond them is also covered in black paint, and they're writhing and wriggling, trying to understand what these explosions are that are happening. So you do have an opening to try and get through these spiders that you would not otherwise have. What do you want to do?
I'll use this opening to get my footing, run through this black mist of spray paint, and sprint it to catch up to them.
For this, I like the idea of a might test, as you're just trying to power through at this point. It's not about speed, it's just about pushing through. It's going to be difficulty 3, but I'm going to give you 2... I always forget the actual word. You're getting 2 raises, essentially, 2 boosts that will mean you only need a difficulty 1, rating 1 to get past.
Okay. I'll go ahead and roll that. Oh, a major effect 20.
These rolls
tonight. Can we just wrap it up here? Can we roll credits? Like, what is going on?
Just give us the door.
All right, Zander, the nuclear bomb goes off, and everyone, they're all in the lead fridge, and you're all happily ever after. What's going on?
Rowan's suddenly calmed down a bit. I've got him in a steady position. Everything seems to be moving a bit slower. I can see the spiders and where they're at. I can make perfect steps to traverse the room, and I catch up and go further beyond where the group was.
That's what you want for your major effect, that you were able to just gun it even further past them?
Yeah.
Awesome. We'll say that Rowan got a bit of that black spray paint on him, and he started pulling his hands back to feel what that paint was, that liquid that sprayed him. And with that, you just have a lot more mobility. You duck and weave through these spiders. Lucian, who turned around, had the gun, does not train it on you as you go past, which is a first for you. And you make it past the group. You are the first to enter deep into these tunnels. These tunnels are still fairly wide. They're about 5 foot wide, so the spiders can follow you in here. But it does create a bit of a bottleneck, and it makes it a bit easier to get in. It is now the spiders' turns. We have 3 packs. One of them is distracted by flares with a minor effect. I'm going to say that it takes their whole turn because they're actually by the door to get up to you all. So it is not going to actually be able to attack you whatsoever. There are 2 packs, one that's in the middle and one that's right next to you, that are also distracted by these paint cans. So they are going to go on. We've got 4 of you available. I'm going to roll 1d4 and we're going to go clockwise around the group. But with all of these bonuses, instead of rating 3, we're going to be rating 2 here. So one pack is going to be going on Naveen. The other pack is going on Frieda. and they are both very distracted by the paint cans. It's not all 4 of these spiders that are coming at you. It's just one of them coming at you, which makes it much easier to defend and avoid. So both of you need to give me speed test rating 2.
Okay.
Okay. And
Am I a softie as a GM? Is that what this is? Where I just say, like, hey, we don't need a difficult fight. You know, these spiders are deadly, but you can walk through them like clouds and, you know, everything.
No,
is
you are just getting your ass kicked by the dice. That is all.
Yeah, that's really what it is.
I'd rather be a softie.
No, because I got a GM intrusion with 1.
There we go. There we go. Thank you. Thank you, my
Falls in the well.
Someone had to be nice to me. Frieda, let's resolve your description first. You are able to beat it. What does it look like?
So she never got into gymnastics like Lucian did. Her parents really pushed her towards academics. But she went enough of his like practices that she attempts to do like a barrel roll kind of thing, like underneath a spider, and then she pops back up because she does do burpees. Ashley can't IRL, but Frieda can.
And going full superhero.
Yeah.
It's the finale. I'm all for it.
We gotta be cool. Lucian can't be the only cool Dürer, you know? I gotta live up to my younger brother.
I like how you're like I didn't go into, like, the parents didn't put you into gymnastics. They focused on academics. I got like 20 PhDs. I just
and I don't
20, 16 into it.
Exactly. You're the educated one. I'm the failure child.
That's true. They're like, okay, we can do better.
Exactly.
Do it better.
Exactly.
We've learned from our mistakes.
They're like, we need balance.
We
We
should
need
put him into gymnastics to balance out the mental and the physical.
Yes.
So these spiders are rushing. This spider is rushing at you because the rest of the group's distracted. There is just spray paint everywhere. The floor is slick, and you do a belly slide as the spider jumps at you.
It. Maybe I just slip in the spray paint and I just slide underneath it, and that's what.
Hell yeah!
I was gonna say you purposefully slide, but if you want to,
no,
you can decide later.
There's no grace.
Yes, the transporter. That was a great scene.
Yes, it was.
So Frieda slips, and instead of sliding on her belly, she slides on her ass. But regardless, the spider jumps over. Naveen, you got a GM intrusion. And finally, I get to play in this game. So Naveen, I'm going to say that the floor's slick. You fall. Not only do you fall, but a group of these spiders descend upon you. And you're essentially like grappled in this moment. Like you're not being held specifically, but they are on top of you. Like literally the metal prongs are stepping into you. They're not causing damage, but the weight is pushing in and it's sharp. But you are being bitten by these spiders because you failed your defense. You are taking 3 stress here, which means that everything you do is going to be 1 step more difficult.
Okay.
And at first you're worried because these teeth, like, they're sharp, they're pointed. You feel bit on your arm, on your leg, multiple places, and they bite once, and they bite again, and they are biting and biting. But the bites aren't as deep as you think they would be. You look down, and they pull out, and there's not a lot of blood coming out. But then, as you start to move your arm, there's no feeling in it. You can tell that your arm is starting to go numb. You still have movement right now, but there is a venom building inside of you. That is the spider's turn. I believe we have Emily and Frieda still to take actions. What are you two doing?
Sorry, man. Just a little bit of thing before we move on. I was already at 4 stress. I am now.
So now you're at 7.
Now I'm at 7, but it's now 2.
2 levels. So everything is going to be 2 steps more difficult. Yes.
Okay, 2. Thank you. That's what I thought.
Because Cypher system, you divide everything by 3.
Thank you.
So that
just
extra 1 point doesn't
make
matter.
Sure.
No worries.
That I was right.
It's just the finale. Why would we know the rules by now?
Fine. I expected Naveen to die a long time ago.
All right. Frieda, Emily, either of you, either order. Who's got something?
I would say Emily had been kind of running with Naveen, so I would say that she would like to take her extendable baton and try to see if she can separate Naveen from this, or separate the spider from Naveen. So that's what she's going to kind of focus on.
So there's a couple spiders all around her, one that is like heavily weighing upon her, and you want to take your baton and just baseball bat it off. Yeah. That will be a might test.
Yeah, because I actually have some might, so change of approach
difficulty
will
3
be
as well.
Helpful. So I've got the baton, and then I will spend 2 might because I've got an edge in that, and then I will roll. Oh, you're welcome, Steven.
Thank you.
You're welcome. GM intrusion. Rolled a 1.
It's about time we buried the hatchet between each other. You know, like there's no reason for this animosity to continue. We should be friends, right?
I think this is going to bring us right back to where we started, because I feel like you're about to like slam a door in my face or something.
I would love to do that, but unfortunately the door's on the other side of the room.
I mean, it's a GM intrusion, so I mean, if you wanted to fly
another door pops
I assume you could probably do it.
How do you feel about your baton breaking?
I mean, it is an extendable baton, so like if it actually makes contact with something solid, like it makes sense that it would break.
All right, so it won't be necessarily unusable because it's part of your equipment. You can't have it. But you swing that baton, and this is a heavy metal spider, and your baton essentially like collapses. Like it's no longer extendable. It is now a boomerang shape. You still have it. You could technically still hit something with it, but it's not nearly as useful as it was before.
And she's just like kind of shouting expletives as she's like trying to ineffectually hit this, and sorry, and she'll maybe next turn she'll try to kick at it.
I love that you're apologizing to the spider, because it's feelings were hurt that you tried to hit it.
No, I'm apologizing to Naveen. I thought I was going to help her, and here I am just putting myself in danger and not helping her at all.
Frieda, what are you doing?
Great question. How was I like further away from them, like where Naveen fell, or because I know I got 2
technically
movements.
Closer in the room than you, but they're not very far at all. Zander has gone deep into the tunnels. All of you are at the entrance to these tunnels.
Okay.
The rest of you are at the entrance to the tunnels.
I will be so mad if you come back, Reeve. Fuck not.
Okay. Then I will continue following Lucian.
Zander, you mean who's further?
Yeah, I think Zander. I stopped to shoot, remember?
I assume Lucian's like in front of like a tunnel, and if that's not the tunnel Zander went down, then I'll go to the one closest to Lucian.
You're all going down the same tunnel, yeah.
Oh, okay. Then I misunderstood. Yeah, then I'm cruising.
All right. So you are catching up to Zander. You're on his heels. Did you have any action you wanted to do along the way? Once we get into the tunnels, we're not going to be in the same sort of combat, so I don't think we need to be as picky about distances. But there will still be the chance of spiders following you. So essentially, if you wanted to do an action, you could, but not necessarily an action to move further at this point.
I would like to maybe see if there's something that I could knock down, like once we get into the tunnels, to help block off or make it more difficult for the spiders to follow us.
All right, so most of these tunnels are this natural stone, but that could mean that there's stalactites or stalagmites. I don't remember which one's up above or down below. Let's go ahead and roll a D100 for me, and we'll say if it's a 75 or higher, there is something you can knock down.
Ooh, okay. 80.
All right. What is it you're knocking down?
Yeah, like you said, like whichever it is that's above, she just takes her hand axe and she starts to hit at it, but she's kind of like holding off until people are in to really get it to like block off the area.
All right. So that roll was to see if there was something. I really like this though. Let's go with might to chop it down. And if you fail, you'll still be able to chop it down, but it's going to be just a little bit slower.
Okay. What's my target, might?
We're going to... axe on rock, what would be a good difficulty for that? I think 4 makes sense here.
Oh. Okay. Let's just rip it. Yeah.
What's the worst that could happen? You won't roll a 1.
I mean, I've already did today.
Oh my gosh.
You jinxed me. You hacked
I am
it.
God's favorite.
Dude, what is going on?
Oh my gosh.
We are swingy
This is
today.
so
we are
many
getting
in a
nat
row.
20s and nat 1s.
Yeah.
All right. Frieda, GM intrusion. You do knock this down on one blow. Unfortunately, it starts to fall backwards upon you. And you are
You're getting
we're
an
gonna say that you
XP
take,
from me.
so no XP on the nat 1s. You don't get the XP for that.
No, I give it to you to not have the bad thing happen, right? Or no?
I don't think you can do that unless I offer it to you. But someone go ahead
okay.
and check that for me, just in case. So right now, if you cannot offer it, we'll say that it starts to fall on you, and you're going to take 2 stress, and you will be pinned by this thing.
Oof.
Unless you're able to spend the XP, in which case that never happened, and it's all imaginary. Regardless, that is everyone in the round, I believe. Did anyone else not go? No? So that brings us back to the top of the round. We now have Naveen, who's just in the edge of the room with a spider on top of her, multiple spiders around her. Emily, who's in the midst of that, trying to beat them with an extendable baton. Lucian has a duster and doves flying out. So many doves that they're just fluttering about the room. There are feathers everywhere now. Zander is just Zen mode. He tapped into that slow motion that Lucian was doing, and he is just running with it. And Frieda is chopping at a rock, and it possibly is falling upon her. So let's start the next round here. Everyone is going to need to give me another speed test to see if they pass initiative. Lucian, I can roll for you if you want.
Oh, joke.
Got it. Sorry.
No worries.
I just look at it.
I appreciate it.
Roll an 18. I'm good.
14 is the pass.
13.
Minor intrusion.
So everyone passed. The heck?
Or minor effect. Sorry. Minor effect.
Yeah, so minor effect. Emily, let's go ahead and
Nice.
resolve yours first. What does this look like?
So the thing that I was trying to do last was remove this spider from Naveen. So if there's something that I can do that would aid myself in pulling it off of her this round. So that's kind of what I would
What do you
want
think
to
would
do.
aid you?
Um,
You can definitely get the mechanical boost for that with your minor effect. So just what do you think it is that actually gives you that boost?
I'm wondering if maybe and I don't think I've used this yet, but like my survival kit has rope in it. And I don't recall using that.
You used rope a little bit in the tunnels with the creeper, but there was nothing that stopped you from using it again.
Okay. So maybe because I had used it not too long ago, it was kind of like towards
Already
the
out.
top of the bag. And so like as I'm like swinging at the spider last time, it like fell out of my bag. And so now I'm going to like use that to like kind of lasso it real quick around this thing so that I can just kind of pull it off on my turn.
I love that. So you were just swinging wildly with the baton. It causes your bag to just kind of like pop up a little bit. The rope, maybe you didn't, you were in a bit of a scrape when you were dealing with the rope. So maybe you just threw it in the bag without actually coiling it up. And this just rat's nest of rope falls onto this thing. You grab one end and you're just able to tug as it essentially netted a spider, making it easier on Naveen to get up if she can. I love that a lot. Let's go with your action too. Let's keep the focus on you.
I mean, I if it's okay, I would like to do another might check to try to kind of like use the net to then pull this off so that Naveen can just focus on running.
That makes sense.
So I'm going to spend another 2 might and
this is technically going to be an attack as well, because in Cypher system, doing anything to a creature that doesn't want to have that happen is considered an attack.
Okay. And then yeah, that's it. So I'm just easing it by 1 with the might spend. Oh, and I rolled a 2. So I try. So it's netted, but I am not able to actually get it off of her.
I do want to take advantage of this a little bit. So we're going to use this. I'm going to give you a GM intrusion. You can turn this down or not, but I'm going to say with the GM intrusion, you can actually topple this thing over onto its side and kill it. That is the GM intrusion.
Sure. I won't turn that down.
All right, so you get an XP. Who's getting the other XP?
Who's in a... Well, so Zander's running with the kid, so I'll say Zander.
All right, because Naveen didn't need it. I'm sorry, I'm being sassy. This rope, it turns into a net. You just pull as hard as you can. It feels like nothing gives, but then you find inner strength and you pull even harder, and it pulls the legs out from under it. It topples over, and this metal cage just immediately crunches, and almost like it was glass, similar to the glass that like divided the room, it shatters. It just shatters. These metal pieces go everywhere. You have a bundle of rope that is like full of spider legs that are like all those hinged spider legs are tied into this rope that you're holding onto now. But that bird cage that fell over and shattered, there was weird lint stuff in there. There was like cloth in there, and it rolls out and it rolls away from you, thankfully, because you see that it kind of bounces like this Mexican jumping bean as it bounces and bounces, and it starts to grow bigger and bigger, and you see that these legs are starting to pop out of it until it's its own spider shape. This is all happening during your turns. You guys can all respond to this, but it is getting bigger. It is definitely growing. You have unleashed something. You shouldn't have taken that GM intrusion. This is bad for you.
I was a little curious. I was like, well, this seems like it's working fine. I think I should take this, and I should not have taken it. But I'll go with it anyway, because that's the fun of the game.
All right. We're not antagonizing each other anymore. We're getting along.
For now.
All right. So that was your turn. Everyone else passed. So anyone can go in any order. Jeff, did you find the answer, by the way, to our rules question?
I haven't seen anything that says no. It says that the difference is mainly that when you do an intrusion on your own choice, you got to give XP, but on a natural one, you don't give XP. I'm not seeing it. It might be there, but there's a lot of
so
text,
Frieda, you
I'm
can
not
spend the XP to avoid that. Is that what you're choosing to do?
I think it says I can't is kind of how I'm taking it, or how I took it when I read it. Like, it's you as the GM, you don't have to offer me XP because I rolled an extra.
I'm not offering you XP though. You can spend an XP to avoid the intrusion.
Exactly.
So that's different than being offered. So if you wanted to spend the XP to avoid that nat 1, is what I think the interpretation was, right, Jeff?
That's how I'm doing it. And like the one, because there's like anytime the GM intrudes, the player can spend 1 XP to refuse the intrusion, though that also means they don't get the 2 XP. If the player has no XP to spend, they can't refuse the intrusion. And then later, when it says rolling a natural 1, it says treat it like a GM intrusion. So
okay. Yeah.
I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm saying I just couldn't find it in the time.
You can also spend XP for rerolls. So it makes sense that you could just spend it to avoid the intrusion, and that doesn't feel game breaking. So Frieda, if you want to mark off that XP, that stalactite, the one that's above you, thank you, Kipser, for explaining that, starts falling towards you, and it looks like it's going to hit you, but then it just brushes past you and shatters on the ground, creating this barrier into the tunnels.
Cool. Sweet.
All right. Emily, that was your turn. Everyone passed, so anyone can go in any order. Frieda, we just described that for you. Why don't we go focus on you? Sorry, I know I'm kind of taking charge as the GM here, but
but maybe what I do, because I do have high perception and like tracking kind of skills, so I'm thinking but it is more towards like natural landscapes, but this is kind of natural, where I just I'm looking for additional dangers or more spiders moving forward into the cave to help make sure it's safe for everyone else as we come in. So I'm moving in, and then I'll do my thing.
I'm going to say with all the chaos, the brouhaha of the gunshots, the batons, the shattering of metal, the screams of pain, the screams from Rowan, it's very difficult to hear anything coming from there. I think difficulty 4, yeah, we'll say difficulty 4.
I will take it. I am specialized in perception.
All right, so that lowers it to 3.
Takes it down to 2. Yeah, I think it's 2 because it's specialized.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right, because it's not trained. You're correct.
Yeah. So difficulty 2. And I beat. I meet. I should say I don't beat.
All right. You are heightening your perception, heightening your senses. You're trying to focus specifically on further down the tunnel. There's a bit of dust that comes out up from the stalactite, so maybe you move a bit deeper into the tunnel to try and tell. You feel very confident that there's no living creatures ahead of you in this tunnel.
How many things?
You still have that Cypher though, don't you?
Yes, big picture.
Is that still active?
So, I don't think we've been through 5 rounds of combat, have we?
You did activate it last session. And there was a good bit of debate. So we'll be polite and we'll say that was 2 rounds. We're now on our 3rd round. So you have 1 round after this.
Okay.
That sound fair?
It works for me.
All right. So with that as well, you feel fairly confident there's no large creatures ahead of you.
Okay.
And I assume that you move deeper into the tunnels.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Naveen, Zander, Lucian, either of you in any order. Any of you.
Go ahead if you have anything.
So I just want to, because I was looking at the rules, so I was kind of catching only half of the description. So it's me in the tunnel entrance still. Naveen fell and is being pursued by spiders, and everybody else moved forward, and they're having like crazy shits happening down the tunnel.
Emily is right next to Naveen as well. So Emily, Naveen fell, has spiders on top of her. Emily is banging with them, breaking her extendable baton on there. Frieda and Zander have moved deeper into the tunnels past you, so you're in the center of this group here. Naveen and Emily are still very close to you, though. They're right at the entrance to the tunnels.
Okay. All right. How many spiders are climbing over top of Naveen?
1 pack, essentially. So there are 3 left because Emily killed 1. There's 1 that's like especially on top of her, and then 2 that are on the sides. If you can get the 1 really on top of her, she'll be able to get up.
I think that's what I'm just going to try to shoot it. Again, not great at shooting, but still going to try.
Fantastic. This is a speed test. Difficulty 3.
Okay.
Do it with style. Right, you can do anything.
I do get an edge from my ceramic lady. And since I already have an edge, it puts me at 2. So I'm going to go ahead and spend a point of speed to ease that down to difficulty 2.
What ceramic lady are you talking about?
The ceramic figurine, a 3-inch tall figure, depicts a middle-aged smiling woman.
Are you sure it depicts a middle-aged woman?
I'm looking at it right now. Depicts a middle-aged smiling woman.
Lucian is looking at it. You see that you're looking at your pocket as you call on.
I wasn't looking
off an edge. You just said you're looking at it right now. No takebacks.
No
takebacks. No takebacks.
You just described.
You looked at
fiction,
a figurine
Lucian
as you were pulling the gun.
No.
And you see an elderly woman.
I reject this because you made it sound like Lucian was doing it. Lucian is not pulling a ceramic figurine out of his pocket to look at it when he's trying to quickly shoot.
No take-back.
Jeff was looking at the page.
Oh, I don't care what you say.
I mean, I know that.
All right, fine. There is a middle-aged woman in your pocket.
Okay. Yeah, because I just don't.
You still get the boost.
I don't know, man. Like it's passive, so it doesn't require any sort of activation. So I don't
you're right.
see
you're right.
any justification for doing
I'm
that.
just trying to, build upon things.
Halo around the troll face.
That's a miss, but I'm gonna spend an XP because I rolled a 5 and I needed a 6, so I'm gonna spend an XP for a reroll, and this time I hit.
There you go.
All right.
Yes.
Your gun does how much damage? Do you remember?
All of it, I think it says. Hang on.
Everything that's left.
Yeah, all of it.
Insta kill.
It says 4. It's 4 damage.
4 is enough to actually kill one of these spiders. So what does it look like?
So he's like, get up! Get up!
And then he just starts firing.
And you fire multiple shots, and it just cracks right through this metal. Again, this metal seems very brittle like glass, and it begins to shatter and collapse. Naveen, some of this metal starts to fall on you, and it kind of like slices at your face a little bit. And then that black ball of lint or fur or whatever the hell it is falls on top of your chest, Naveen, and you see it bouncing and like popping there, and then you see a little leg sprout out of it and another leg sprout out of it, and then it rolls off you because you're still thrashing. There are spiders next to you that are still biting, and it starts to roll towards the other one on the ground that's nearby, the one that Emily killed, and those two start popping into each other, and then they start becoming one as they are bouncing around and continuing to grow. Who wants to go next?
Can I try and get up? I have no idea like how badly the venom has affected me or anything.
You absolutely can. So Emily used her minor effect to make it easier on you to get up because she did pull one off you. Lucian shot one off of you as well. So I would have said it would be about difficulty 5 to push through these things. With those 2 boosts, I'm sorry, no, it's difficulty 3 because that's their rating. That's the rules. So anything against them, it's an attack, counts as difficulty 3. But with their 2 boosts, it brings you down to 1, and then you still have the stress, which raises it up to 3.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So I believe that's a straight 3. You can still apply skills and everything else, though.
I don't have anything that would help.
All right, but 3 is very doable. Let's see you do it.
Mind test, speed test.
Speed test, yes. No, this could be might. I'll take dealer's choice on that.
I'll do speed, and I can spend an edge.
Okay. So then you spend 2 points of speed. Your edge reduces it by 1. And you're looking for difficulty 2.
No, I got a 5.
5. Do you want to spend XP to reroll like Jeff did, or are you happy to just stay here on the ground, keep getting bit? It sounds appealing.
Yeah, I'll spend the XP. Everyone's tried so hard to get me out. It feels
Give us a
shitty.
reroll.
No,
Difficulty 2 is all you need.
Let's see. I'm gonna spend another edge. Can I do the reroll?
You can't do it again. It's still difficulty 2 with the reroll.
Okay. This time I beat it with an 11.
There you go.
So what's this look like? You're going numb. They're biting you. You're like, you got blood all over you, but you're able to push them off. How does it look?
I think I just kind of pull my knees up to my chest and just kick this thing off of me. Or try to, and then kind of scramble up and sort of grab Emily, thanking her, and like it's very clear that Naveen wants the 2 of you to leave.
Yeah, and you kick it, and it pushes away, and you hear the scratching of metal on stone, like nails on a chalkboard, as it skitters, and it tries to, like, regain its footing, but at that point, it's too late, and you were able to stand up, and you were pushing past Lucian. Your action was to push it off. Your movement is to get up and get a little bit further. You're not going to be able to get very deep into these tunnels, but you are free now. Lucian just pointed out that Maitreyi and Jeff both just rolled a 5, spent an XP, re-rolled, and got an 11. And that obviously means that the house hates you. Or no, it hates me. It hates me.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
My conclusion was about to be that 11 looks like a door. So it means that we're about to find the door out of here.
I suppose if you squint at it, yeah, maybe it looks like a door.
It looks like a door.
Interesting.
All right.
That's what I said.
Naveen,
The next door we open, we haven't opened a door yet, so I could still be right.
Naveen, that was your turn.
Was the name of my 311 cover band in high school.
Hell yes.
I believe we just have Lucian and Zander left to go.
Don't stay home this time.
That is the song.
Lucian
that
or
is
Zander?
the song.
Lucian.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
He shot that V. I think he got 311.
Oh, yeah, you did.
You.
So it's just Zander left. Just Zander.
I'll set the Rowan down here with Frieda. Make sure the others can make it through the tunnel as well. So I'll wait here.
All right, so maybe you take a couple steps back to that stalactite, and we'll say if you spend your whole action to assist people, they won't have to make checks to get past it.
Sounds good.
All right. Top of the round again. Let's roll one more initiative to see if you guys get away here with a clean break, because Emily is still in danger, and she just rolled a nat 1.
I sure did.
So angel number 511. Angel number 511 is a communication from the divine forces that you are in the worldly realm. I don't know, this is some crazy shit.
When did angel numbers become a thing? I've seen those popping up lately, and I do not get it whatsoever.
I mean,
Let's just
Lucian's
stick to the
into all
Zodiac,
the
guys.
numbers stuff. Like
True.
that's Lucian's thing.
He stops, he thinks about it, and then gets eaten by spiders.
So Zander has passed. Naveen and Emily have failed.
Yeah.
Still waiting on Lucian and Frieda.
Lucian passed with an 18.
There we go. Frieda and Lucian, you are the only two who have passed. Lucian, you're the one that's still in the heat of combat here, so let's keep the focus on you for now.
So everyone at this point has moved behind me towards
No,
the tunnel.
Emily
Maybe.
is still in the pack of spiders, but she is standing. She's not necessarily surrounded.
Okay.
She's not grappled or anything.
When you said that I was the one in the heat of combat, I got confused. Okay. All right, he'll fucking be a stupid hero, and he'll stand here and shoot, and he'll be move, move.
Is she wearing that? Didn't you have like special shoes or some shit at the beginning of the show? Was there something about shoes
She
in
had
the
a
beginning?
skirt. She had a special skirt.
Yeah, I think she's a Birkenstock kind of gal.
Maybe that's what it was.
Like, you need better footwear. Move.
Because I think the Birkenstocks also got thrown up on when we were like at the farm or something.
So Lucian, let me ask what you're targeting, because you've seen these glass spiders break twice now, and you've seen that there's something inside. I call them glass. They're actually metal, but they break like glass. There's something inside of that cage that is bouncing around, definitely coming to life, definitely growing, and then it started to merge with another one. There is one of these beings, and it's almost the size of one of these German Shepherd sized spiders now. It's getting very, very big, and it's continuing to grow. This one is hairy. It looks like it has the vague shape of a spider, but kind of like a spider that a child drew in like a drawing or something. It's fuzzy like that. It's definitely getting bigger and continuing to grow regardless of whether it's merging with something or else. And then there's still plenty of actual metal spiders around.
Right. I mean, she's surrounded by spiders. I don't know. I don't really feel like I have any other thing I can do, really. It's either leave her or shoot these things.
Well,
Unless
I
there's
meant
something else in the room.
Which type of spider would you want to shoot at? The metal ones or the
Whatever
one
one is closest to her. Whatever one that's closest to her that's causing it, or that would impede
Okay.
her coming to
the
where I
metal
am.
spiders are probably still a little bit in between the two of you, whereas the fuzzy spider is on the further side of her. So let's say the metal spiders then.
Okay. So yeah, I'll do that. And then I'm going to do the same thing I did last time. Spend a speed to reduce this. And
Speed. I'm sitting on 15 of 16 intellect, so at some point we ever need to try to decipher something, we're going to
Right?
be
You
just
had that
fine.
same complaint last session, and then I gave you an intellect later, and you were fine. So you'll get
says
one more
the guy
intellect in this campaign.
who every time I ask him to roll a fucking perception test or a spot hidden test, oh, that's so much spot hidden on my freaking whatever.
I miss Pastor
Got like a
Luke
feeling
whenever it comes
reference.
to
Natural 20. Sucking bitch! Nat 20!
Hell yes.
Jeff has the juice. What's your major effect?
Can I just freaking like archer it and just fire empty?
It's the
clip and
finale.
shoot, like
Yeah, do what you want.
every
Rampage.
fucking spider in here. Like, move, you freaking hippie lady! Birkenstocks without the style. Put 20 years ago.
And just shooting the whole time.
All right. Major effect is you killed literally all of the spiders left. You were just rampage. Your gun, we will say, runs out of bullets after a certain point, but you shatter all of these metal spiders. They are cracked. All of them have another lint fur spider inside that begins bouncing and popping, and they start kind of like aggregating in the middle, but they're all across the room. It's going to take a little bit for that to happen. Emily, let's go ahead and keep the focus on you here. The area is clear. There is definitely a big spider next to you, but it's on the far side of you. What are you doing?
So I am going to try to run, like Lucian just emptied his entire gun. As long as
you're trying to get away, if you're not trying to go for the fuzzy spider that's growing next to you, you're able to get away just fine because it's next to you, but it's not targeting you yet.
Yep. Did you hear the clap, clap, clap that you hear when somebody's like running in flip-flops?
That's funny. That's really funny. I love that. Sorry, someone GM for a second.
For that.
I don't know why that's cracking me up so much. Very comical. As you clap, clap, clap away, and we're gonna drop out of combat here. You are all now in the tunnels. With Zander helping you, you're able to get over the stalactite that has been chopped down. You are in the safety of the tunnel. As you look back, you see that these spiders start to merge and grow. But there's so many of them at this point that it's actually getting bigger than the actual entrance to the tunnel. As this thing starts growing and like popping and like crawling towards you, you can tell already that it's too big to actually chase you. It will not fit in. You move deeper into the tunnels. Who's got Rowan at this point?
Me.
Frieda. All right. You were holding this kid. He is sobbing. He's just, the adrenaline is pumping. He's scared for his life. Tears are running down. It's that childlike snot crying that is just coming down, and he is clinging as tightly as possible to you. These tiny little fingers are like daggers as they're digging into you. You're all safe, though. After a few minutes, he starts to calm down. The group of you probably move pretty quickly at first as you're going into these tunnels, but eventually your pace slows as you know that you're not being chased. And it's a labyrinth down here. A literal labyrinth. As tunnels begin to branch, you take one path, probably marking which way you go. It branches again, and it branches again, and it branches again. I'm going to need an intellect test from one of you to try and navigate.
I would like to do it with my perception, if that's cool.
All right, is anyone assisting?
I'd like to throw in my understanding, which is one blood point. You observe an object, next interaction gains an asset.
All right. We can count the labyrinth as an object. It's a little bit pushing it, but it kind of makes sense that it's a very large object, and you are observing it. You're spending a long time in this maze of sorts. And with that, you spend time trying to decipher whether you're going up or down. Are these tunnels sloped? If they're at a gradual slope, there's a chance that you're in a completely different tunnel system after a while. And you're helping gather that information for Frieda, who is rolling intellect. Would be difficulty 5, but with the asset, brings it down to difficulty 4. Does anyone have anything else they're doing to help?
If I use perception, if that applies.
Perception would help, yes.
That would bring it down two levels.
So that puts us at difficulty 2 right now.
I am specifically helping with the understanding. May I also offer my friendly help if she watches the roll?
I think that's fair, yeah. But if anyone else assists, it'll be an automatic success as well if someone has something. Or it could be almost an automatic success. You're all out of combat
Lutzin
here.
Has
you have all the time.
Perception. I said Lutzin has perception, but I didn't want to double dip since
I think that's fine in this case, though, because you're all trying to decipher everything. Lucian, I think you specifically might be on edge here and wanting to make sure you're going the right way, so it makes sense that you'd be able to assist there.
How dark is it?
It's very dark. You are only using the light
Night
that you
vision
brought
goggles.
with you. Should have known that was where you were going.
Barely ever get to use them. Put them on.
Barely. You reference them every single session.
You're making my voice go high. The darkest house. It is called the darkest house, and I have not. You are mistaken.
So we're going for difficulty 1.
Difficulty 1 and a reroll if you botch it. All right, success.
And I hit 5.
Hell yes.
Now, this is not a maze that can be solved. This is not something that like you can trace your hand along the lines and make sure that you know you're going the right way because you don't know where the exit is. But between the group of you, you're able to mark your path. You've all got emergency supplies and things like that we've talked about plenty of times, maybe trails of energy bar breadcrumbs, and you're able to make sure that you are not doubling back, no matter what you are moving forward. But you are in this labyrinth for an hour, continues on for 2 hours. What kind of mental toll does this take upon you all? How are you responding to this? As these tunnels literally could continue forever for all you know.
I feel like the house has already felt that way. Like it has definitely felt like, sure, we've had moments of like, oh, we've got something, we've got the ring, we've got this, but then we hit another wall, and it always kind of feels circuitous in that it's never going to end. So I feel like at this point, you know, despite her best efforts, Frieda has been feeling kind of desolate. You know, she was betrayed by the wraith of what she thought was Shirley Harlock, that led us to some dangerous situations. And
that wraith did also assist you in killing the creeper, though. If you remember, it gave you that powder.
But then it also claimed that it would give us the chisel, and then it did not, because it had given us the powder. And then, you know, it had pushed us into that terrible fight, both with the creature and with, you know, the whatever that was that tried to kill her brother. And so she's just...
How would this desolation be affecting your personality, your behavior? Are you taking this out on your friends? Are you bottling it up inside?
I feel like she's definitely bottling it up, and she's more so just trying to get Rowan to be quiet, because, you know, and she's maybe more agitated than she normally would be. And so his just constant weeping on her has got her frustrated and almost ready to just give him up to someone else to deal with.
And he does somewhat respond to you trying to quiet him. He's still crying to himself, and it's annoying because you hear him like sniffling and, you know, like rubbing his face all the time. Sometimes if he's holding your hand, he like uses that hand to rub, and it is irritating in that sense. But also you get the feeling that Rowan is almost trained to make himself feel unseen at this point. Maybe it's because he's been in the darkest house for so long, maybe because he knows it's a dangerous place, or maybe it's because you can't see his shadow anyways. Maybe you're not supposed to see him either. But he does seem to like have this effect. You notice it more than anyone because you're in charge of him. You're holding on to him. But he does seem to have this way of like withdrawing into himself, sort of the way you're bottling yourself up. What about the rest of you? How are you responding to this labyrinth as it continues on for an indeterminable length?
So you'd mentioned like breadcrumbs. So one of the things that is in Emily's equipment is that she always has like a physical, like paid up airline ticket. And that's just sort of her personality, that she's always like ready to go kind of at a moment's notice kind of a thing. And so I think the way the kind of the overwhelm and the frustration is taking over is that she's kind of dug that out of her bag, and like she's like given up that like she will ever be in a position to use this airline ticket. And so that's kind of what is getting ripped into these tiny little bits of paper. And that's sort of like the kind of tracking the path is just like, airline tickets are a decent size to them. And so that's just what she's just tearing off little pieces, and she's just kind of like cursing to herself as she does it. And it's like she's never gonna be on a plane again, never travel anywhere again, never see anywhere other than this thing. And so she's just dropping pieces of that airline ticket.
And the normally ever positive, ever bright, brings in flowers every Monday to work Emily is definitely giving up hope that there is a future here. Naveen, Zander, Lucian, is this affecting you in any ways?
Physically, it's gone a bit dull, step after step. He's beginning to doubt Frieda here. Is this really the right way, over and over? Nothing's changed. You sure you can handle this? Sort of putting her down.
Frieda, you continue to withdraw into yourself, but that inside nagging is now being fed by an exterior nagging. But you know you're going the right way.
A concern that she had for a while was that Lucian or Zander actually didn't like her, because he didn't like Shirley Harlock. So this kind of pushes her to just kind of ignore him even further, because she knows she's right. She didn't do anything wrong, and kind of continues to fester between them.
Naveen, you're continuing down this path, but you have an additional worry that's preoccupying your mind, as your arm that took most of that venom is entirely asleep. You feel tingles. It's numb. At this point, you can't move it. It's just flopping there. You have motion in your shoulder, and that's it. But even your shoulder's starting to go a little bit numb.
So I think being sort of between the discerning motive and helps her friends and courageous and all that, she can see that her friends are obviously like this is kind of wearing on her way. And her way of coping is to try and kind of, we're doing our best, like we're here for each other, and really just trying to like rally them. And then she kind of, at some point, she reaches up and just sort of absolutely scratches her arm, and it doesn't feel like it she's expecting it to feel. So she just kind of trails off mid-sentence at some point and kind of looks down at her arm and is trying to get feeling back into it. She's like lightly hitting it and trying to like get it to feel like something. And so she was talking, and she's generally quite talkative, and but trails off at some point with her focus now being completely on her arm.
So if anyone's looking at Naveen, she's got her arm down flat. You probably wouldn't tell unless she's occasionally hitting it, patting it. But otherwise it looks like her arm's just hanging at her side. Lucian, you have your night vision goggles on. Makes it easy to mask your face, but what are you feeling?
So this whole time, I think he's moving quicker and quicker despite exhaustion, and he is tapping into his mind. Maybe he starts by counting primes, moves into quoting philosophy and all else. He begins to recite poetry, and he chuckles to himself. Borges comes to mind, and he just, Zeus himself could not undo the web of stone closing around me. I have forgotten the men I was before. I follow the hated path, but darkness walls. That is my destiny.
And he's like just going through and like mumbling and mumbling.
I know there is another in the shadows, whose fate it is to wear out the long solitudes, which weave and unweave this Hades, and to long for my blood.
And so, like, that's kind of him, like this, like, babbling of random esoterica and literature and philosophy that calms him in all of this, but constantly moving faster and faster and faster. Like, his heart is racing, his feet are moving, he's exhausted, but he's moving fast.
And you're likely at the front because you're moving faster, because you have the night vision goggles, you can see further up ahead, and that babbling just kind of echoes back. And there are probably points where he goes around a corner and you lose sight of him as he picks up the pace. You have to pick up the pace. The rest of you have to pick up the pace again to follow him until you're like at almost speed walking at this point. Rowan is struggling to keep up as he's kind of being pulled by Frieda. Frieda, your patience for him is running thin, and you're all reaching a breaking point. I need all of you to give me an intellect defense roll, difficulty 4, to hold it together.
5 for me with my defense inability.
Yes, it is.
I'm going to spend
it's
2 intellect.
6 with my stress, but I am trained on intellect defense.
So that brings it down to 5.
Okay.
I am going to spend intellect to ease.
I rolled a 5. Not good.
Oh, nice.
That's like your third nat 20 tonight.
Yeah.
I'm going to
All
spend
right.
intellect as well to ease.
Frieda, Zander, Naveen, you have all failed. You're taking another level of stress. That is 3 points of stress. And remember that if you get too many points, I believe it's 12, that starts becoming injuries. So keep track of that. Lucian, you have a major effect. What do you think this major effect should be?
He starts shifting from Borges to Auden to all of the poems and literature he knows about labyrinths and such, to which he has likely spent a not insignificant amount of time researching, both from a magical probabilities perspective, but also just a curiosity of it, the universe in miniature. So I don't know what you have planned, but for him, I think it is, despite the madness, if it's all right, I would like the effect to be that there is a confidence in a strange way that he exudes, as this spiral, this descent it becomes comforting to him, because it is a place he feels he has been before, and I'm not sure if it can extend to others. If like my confidence could somehow ease, or
let's say that everyone, including yourself, can lose 1 stress.
Wonderful. You would be amazed to hear this, but I have no stress.
It's because I'm too good to you.
I'm down to 1 now.
All right, look at that. Even oh no, you didn't fail. That's why. All right. This journey continues, and you reach this breaking point. And after that breaking point, you start to shatter. Naveen, Zander, Frieda, you especially, you feel all of that tension that was rising up inside of you come boiling over. It's slightly eased by the confidence of Lucian as he begins babbling on about how he's read about this labyrinth. It was an alternate dimension, this sort of pocket dimension that people would go to, sort of this mind palace, but it was made out of marble rooms. There were marble statues everywhere. All these statues depicted different scenes, different memories from across time, and people would be able to travel in and out of this marble labyrinth at will if they knew the correct ritual, if they knew the correct calculation, the correct formula to do so. And as he starts babbling numbers, you all feel this breaking point, but then like somehow these numbers start bouncing off you, and the confidence in him reinforces you and stops you from necessarily falling apart entirely as Lucian is listing all these numbers, and you hear him doing the calculations, adding, subtracting, putting in all sorts of variables, all sorts of variables you've never even heard of. These aren't even Greek letters anymore. These are just all sorts of occult words. He's casting a spell at this point from memory. And he turns around a corner, and you find a door. Not just any door, though. This is a door you all have seen possibly thousands of times. You see the door to the Magnus Institute. The one that's in the basement, that's down the stairway. Go around the corner. It's in this unfinished basement, and it is the door, and it's clearly labeled Magnus Institute. It's not the same room that you started in, because you know that led into a whole different hallway. But you recognize this door entirely, and it could be that Lucian has just summoned it.
Is this it, Lucian? You let us here?
Yes, it is. This is it. Lucian will waste no time, his speed, and he will open and go unless someone chooses to stop him.
Open it.
He just goes.
Open it.
Doesn't even think twice.
Lucian, you open the door, and you're immediately greeted by the sound of water spraying. As you open the door, you find yourself in the front room of this institute, this waiting room. But there are fire sprinklers that are just raining down. Water begins flooding out. As you remember that what started off all these strange cases was a fire sprinkler going off in this institute, and it looks like it's been raining down. You can see that on the other side of this waiting room is the door that leads into where you all work, where your cubicles are, the main room of the institute. And you see that there is water that's spraying against the glass window of that door as well. Fire sprinklers are going off on both sides. As you look around the walls, you notice that this is not the modern, updated institute, but this is the older institute that you remembered, this familiar institute. It's not as vague as it was before, though. You remember before that there was like a fuzziness around the edges, as if there was a memory. This feels real. This feels physical. But there is definitely some sort of time shift, dimension shift happening. It may not be a memory, but this is not the Earth Institute that you're trying to go to, but you have made it to the Institute. What are you doing?
I'll run into the office. Ludwig, are you in here? Anyone?
You go into the main room as well, is what you're saying, like past the waiting room?
Yeah.
All right, you go past the waiting room, past the check-in desk. You see that like all the paperwork that's on the wall there of like all the people who file statements, it's just soaked with water. You open the door, and there's another little rush of water that floods out of there as that door was holding up even more water, as there are more sprinklers going off on this other side. And you see, you expected to see the cubicles. But instead, in this sort of like, the water's about 6 inches high, so you're wading through it. You're easily able to move through it. But in the center of this is pieces of wood and planks that are floating, but they're not floating haphazardly. They're held together. They're nailed together in a sort of shape. And as it starts to drift towards you, Zander, as you start walking through and wading through, you realize that this is the frame to a door. And as you look over to the wall, you see that there is another, like an actual door itself, a full door, but it's not a single piece of wood. It's multiple planks of wood that are put together. They're nailed together haphazardly, very poor craftsmanship. And as you're all wading through, following Zander, you hear Rowan, "That's the door that Stephanie was building. All she needed was hinges to finish it. What's it doing here?"
I'm not sure, but let's go find out. And Frieda will kind of pick him up and like rest him on her hip as she walks into the room and starts wading through.
You start wading through. Again, it's just past your ankles a little bit, but you still have to like slosh each leg to pull through. It just adds a little bit of resistance. As you go through and you start looking, there's just water that is just raining down, rushing down. It's flooding out behind you. It doesn't seem to be filling this room, but there's nowhere for it to drain.
Can we turn it off?
Water just continues to baptize you. You remember that, what was her name? How do I forget? Johanna turned it off with just cranking a water shutoff at a pipe nearby. Is that what you're trying to do?
Yeah.
All right, so you go over with Rowan and you start trying to crank this water, and it's tight, and then you continue to spin, and then it starts to spin and spin and spin, and it starts going faster and faster until it just spins entirely off of the screw and falls into the water there as water continues to rain down.
Okay, that's not an option.
So if he's saying that it was putting the door together and needed hinges, let's try to find hinges. So that's what Emily will want to do, is try to see if there's hinges somewhere in here.
And Naveen's helping with that.
Emily, it makes sense. Sorry, go ahead, Lucy.
The previous door.
Oh, the hinges.
Came through a
That
door.
was
And then second door
exactly
into
what
here.
I was thinking.
And you'll remember
Yes.
the blueprints you have still required a specific type of hinge, a very unique type of hinge that most doors don't actually utilize. So you would immediately know that you can't necessarily salvage them from there. They had to be a special type of hinge to find. But Emily, it makes sense because you're thinking about this. We'll say that you had the blueprint. As you start going through your bag and pulling stuff out to try and get the blueprint, you pull out this rat's nest of rope that has these spider legs, these metallic spider legs. You see those legs continue to kind of squeak a little bit as those hinges. And as you're looking at those hinges, you continue looking and you pull your blueprint out and you realize that you're carrying the exact perfect hinges.
I think it's these. Look, this hinge, special hinge. Wait, but we have to put the door together. We can, if everyone grabs a piece and an edge, we can put everything together, and we can take the screws from the other door out of that hinge, use these hinges, and screw them in.
You have this wrench that is perfectly sized to take apart the hinges of these spider legs. You start cranking them apart. This frame for the door, this square frame, it's all four sides, this frame, and it's just floating in that 6 inches of water, like kind of like moving in the waves. As you all move past it, you kind of rock it, but it never actually drifts away. It does always stay in the same place, but it's not tethered to anything. You start attaching the hinges to the door because it's already stood up and leaned against the wall. It's not difficult to do whatsoever. You're able to follow the blueprints. You're able to screw them in, and you bring it back to this frame, and you set it down on the frame, and the rocking kind of stops. It's as if this frame and the door, they want to be joined. They want to be created. It doesn't hate you. It wants you. It wants you to join it together. And as you put those screws in, you're able to set it up. You're as soon as you like frame it, you pull it up so that it's standing. It becomes attached to the ground. Even with that 6 inches of water, it attaches to the floor as if you had just drilled it in, and it is steady. And now there's a door in the center of this room with no cubicles where it should be, just an almost barren room, concrete walls, utilities on the ceiling, and you're still being baptized by these fire sprinklers. What are you doing?
If we've put it together, we open it and go through, I suppose.
Will you reach for the handle?
Yes.
And you're the one who felt this the most, that it wanted to be joined. It wanted you to join it. And as you reach towards the handle, you hear a groaning of the wood as this completed door begins to twist and change its shape. And as you get close to the handle, just millimeters away from touching it, you realize that this door is now perfectly Emily shaped in your exact silhouette.
Birkenstocks at all. She'll open the door. I will go through and you will follow. Yes, you will follow right
As
after.
you go to touch that, you feel almost you feel the emotion roiling off of it. You feel hope and excitement to leave, but you realize that the door wanting to join together is not just talking about the door and the frame. It's talking about the door, the frame, and you. You realize that there is another piece to this door that still needs to be added. And as you're reaching out and it is your shape, you realize that you would be that piece.
And I would say the realization comes, I would say, probably too late, as she's like...
It's an overwhelming feeling. It would absolutely halt you if you wanted to take the moment. But you can also reach forward and grab it if you want.
I'll reach forward and grab it.
You reach forward and you grab it. The rest of you see that this door has changed shape to Emily. She reaches to open it. And then instead of the door swinging out or away from her, it begins to almost liquefy in this water, in this baptism, in this fire sprinklers, and it begins to coat her as it begins to go over her arm. Emily, how are you responding to this as it begins to absorb your arm, putting like a layer over you?
I would say she had come to terms with not getting out of here, and so if someone has to become part of this, then everyone else go through and live. And so she's not kind of fighting this.
Can Naveed do anything in this moment?
You would have been able to assist her, but as soon as she touched that door, it started to change. And we'll say that it goes into this John Woo slow motion as it begins to cover her. And as it covers her, you realize that it leaves bumps in various places, as if like there are things being attached. Emily, you cry out in a little bit of pain. It's not overwhelming pain, but it is pain. And as the door begins to like sweep past and it goes up her elbow, the rest of the door just kind of like moves past her arm. You see that her skin has turned pale. You see on each knuckle is a padlock. As it moves past, and on her arm, there are just all sorts of locks. There are door locks, there are padlocks, there are any sort of combination lock, any type of lock imaginable begins sprouting out of her, and it begins to cover her entire body, and it begins to cover her chest, and it goes down her legs, and she is just covered in these locks that they pierce through her flesh. They are embodied inside of her, and they begin to swarm up over her neck. And Emily, you start to pull back. What are your last words?
Leave here. Leave.
And she says, leave. And that's when the door, the liquid, whatever this is, this dimensional hook between dimensions, goes into her mouth, and it begins to swell her throat, and it turns her, you can tell her insides begin to twist and contort as well, and it covers her entire body. And what you are left with standing in front of you is no longer Emily's ship, but you see a doorman. You see this humanoid being covered in locks. Where the eyes are, 2 padlocks stick out. You can tell they're going through the eyelids, and they're deep enough that they'd have to be going through eyes if eyes are left. There is a mouth that is locked shut. There is a massive door lock. It's like it looks like it would use a giant sort of skeleton key of sorts directly in its chest, as now this being standing in front of you, still rained upon by these fire sprinklers, stands motionless, and the only movement is this water coming down. As you look down, the water drips, and it rivulets like form around these locks as it drains down. You see that where this no longer Emily, this doorman standing in front of you, you see these ribs that stick out, and they have padlocks going through the flesh and around them, but you see that the tips of these ribs, this gaunt being, the tips of the ribs look like skeleton keys. What are you doing?
Frieda wants to look upon the doorman and find the keyhole towards our institute, as she asks for us to be able to leave.
What do you say specifically?
Emily, doorman, I wish for all of us to be able to return home. Myself, Lucian, Naveen, Zander, and Rowan.
Emily, you are now a doorman. You hear the plea. Emily would have granted it. Would the doorman grant it?
I would have to
say
roll
no,
that.
and we'll roll credits.
I don't know. Like, I obviously would, but let's see. Roll a d6. 1, 2, 3 is yes. 4, 5, 6 is no. 1. That's yes.
Yes. This massive lock in the center of its chest, this door lock, you specifically asked for the Magnus Institute, and it begins to change and shift again. It begins to liquefy and melt and reform itself, and it's still a very large lock, but it is now the familiar lock that you have used many times to get in and out of the Magnus Institute, the very door that you just passed through moments before. You do see also one of these ribs begins to press out even more, and the skin is still taut, but you see the teeth of the key, a very familiar key. Her rib is now the key to the Institute. The lock is her chest.
Frieda will apologize profusely as she reaches forward for the key, and almost weeping because Emily is her friend. You know, they have a book club where they do true crime stuff, and knowing that she's leaving her here, but she's granting us access to leave, she's crying as she reaches forward and breaks the key off to then insert into the lock.
Not just breaking it off, you have to tear through the flesh.
Yeah.
You can rip around and you pull, and it just pulls taut until that squish, and the skin begins to pull and rip, and this key is still attached all the way back to the spine, and you have to just pull, and you hear a crack and a break as bones are just shattering, and you're ripping the key out. This is a very difficult thing to do. Mm-hmm. You're taking 3 stress from it.
Definitely.
But you have an oversized key to the Magnus Institute. Naveen, Zander, Lucian, you are watching this happen. You have seen Emily change. You have seen Frieda go up and grab this key. How are you responding to this all?
Naveen is, Frieda was almost weeping. Naveen is fully weeping. And, she's kind of stammering, and if it needed someone, it should have been me. It should have been me. I'm half dead anyway. And she's clutching her numb arm, feeling the numbness creep even further, and she's fully crying and just stammering, "I'm half dead anyway."
Zander, Lucian.
What did you do with Emily? Arbiter, you said you'd get us all out. What is this?
No response from the Arbiter. But you do hear, "Honey, you're lucky. Normally you have to kill one for it to happen. She chose it. Don't worry. Everything's gonna be like cake and candy now. Just open that door and we'll go through together." Are you saying anything back, Zander?
Getting out of here for Emily's sake.
Yes, for Emily's sake. Let's get out of here together. Lucian, how are you responding to the situation unfolding?
Muted.
Think first. I'm not muted. It's just sometimes my mic doesn't pick up my voice. Lucian stares first in horror, and then and effectually reaches for his weapon, but he is out of bullets, so it is useless. And so he's just sort of holding this empty gun in his hand. But then as he watches the whole transformation, the choice that Emily makes, his head sort of tilts, and he just starts to observe. He does not weep. He does not say much at all. He just watches. And then he just says, "Thank you." And that is it.
Frieda, you have broken off a key. You know where the lock is. What are you doing?
She will push forward and insert the key into the lock, and she'll reach back to, she's holding Zander, so before she puts the key into the lock, she reaches back to make sure that Lucian is right behind her, and
you feel his hand on your shoulder,
and Rowan is absolutely just clutched koala to her side as she's holding him with the one hand.
It's reverse piggybacked.
And she'll stick that key in, and I don't even think she realizes necessarily that she's still holding him at this point, but she will go and open the lock.
You put the key in, and as you begin to twist the lock, you see that there's a sort of change in her skin. There's still the water rivulets coming down that kind of plays with the light, that kind of like changes, but you realize, no, there's a texture change in the skin as like these veins begin to darken and they begin to like spider web out, but they're not in this sort of organic pattern that you would expect veins to be in, where they start to like branch out. No, it is an organic pattern, but it's more like vines, this sort of floral vine pattern. And it reminds you of a skirt that Emily used to wear that had flowers embroidered into it. And that floral pattern begins to extend entirely across this doorman's body. It goes across the chest, down the arms, down the legs. And when this pattern finally finishes, you have the key fully twisted. Mm-hmm. And then the keyhole itself begins to shrink to a smaller size. The doorman begins to shrink to a bigger size, into a square, into the door that you had just built. Mm-hmm. And then it opens up.
And as she goes to push it open, she says, "Doorman, do not let Gil ravage through." And then she'll shove it open and take a step in.
Frieda, you step in. You step in with Rowan. Lucian, you are behind, stepping in. Naveen, you're going through, I assume?
I am, but I'd like to go after Zander.
Okay, so Zander and Naveen, you were standing at this door. You heard Frieda say, "Do not let Gil Ravage through." What it appears that they have walked through is into darkness. You can't see the other side of this door. There is a sort of void, like this veil that drips down. Lucio has his goggles on. He can see through this dimensional darkness.
Yeah. Dimensional darkness is nothing to it. I got these from Bass Pro Shop.
D&D, he's got 10 foot of blind sight. All right, so Frieda and Dürer.
Presumably Naveen didn't hear the conversation that Zander had. So
no, you did not hear that whatsoever, but you did hear Frieda.
She doesn't feel like there's any reason to not let him just go first.
And you did both hear Frieda say to Doorman, "Do not let Gil Ravage through." So Zander, it's your turn. What are you doing?
Yeah, Naveen looks and says, "I'll be right behind you."
Then after me, I'll see you on the other side. And I'll keep a moment just to listen and like if that voice is still lingering.
Just one step, baby. Cake and candy, sweet as can be.
We've made it then, and I'll hop through.
Zander, let me ask you this.
Sure.
Does Zander want Gil Ravage to come with?
We can do a final intellect check since we've been doing that.
All right, let's do it.
I'll spend my remaining 3 intellect points to ease it. What difficulty would you like me to hit here?
So the difficulty checks are 5 for Gil Ravage, and you have an inability, but you're easing it, so it becomes a straight 5.
Okay.
But if I knew I could offer you any help.
14. I missed it by 1, so I fail and I'll let her through.
All right, you want, in this moment, Gil Ravage to come through. Emily, you are a doorman right now. You're no longer Emily. Would the doorman care enough about Frieda to try and prevent someone from entering this door?
I'm going to do what I did last time because I don't know how the doorman thinks. So 1, 2, 3.
You are the doorman, so you get to decide how the doorman thinks.
1, 2, 3, Gil Ravage goes through. 4, 5, 6, Gil Ravage does not.
Okay.
I'm going to keep rolling this in my hand for a little bit because Ashley's got the 6.
Gil Ravage, you do not want Gil Ravage to go through. We're going to need one more final intellect check, as the doorman is now competing against Gil Ravage. It is a battle of egos. It's going to be rating 5 against Gil Ravage here. But everything Emily could do, the doorman can do. And we'll say that the doorman itself has some extra power, so we'll give you 1 extra raise, making it difficulty 4.
This is my roll, the doorman.
This is Emily's roll against the doorman. So Emily, anything else the doorman can do, everything Emily can do. And then the doorman has some extra powers. So you're going to need to get a difficulty 4 to prevent Gil Ravage from coming through.
As Emily.
As the doorman. But the doorman
Does the doorman have refreshed points then? Is the question.
We'll say the doorman has refresh points. Let's give you a fighting chance.
And this is
a battle of egos between the doorman and Gil Ravage. Yes, intellect.
Okay, so I'll spend, and I thank you for that, but I have 2 left, so I'm at 0 intellect, 0 speed, and 1 might.
It was
do you have any other skills that Emily would have had that might have helped the doorman here?
I have identifying as a trained skill, so it feels like I am identifying Gil Ravage, her presence, her shadow, her whatever. That feels like it should apply.
I'll take it. Yeah, you're trying to separate the 2 egos moving through.
I'm also trained in occultism. So kind of the same thing.
Occultism. Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of that sensing.
You said you're specialized in identify?
No, trained.
Just trained. Okay.
Yeah, so trained in identify, trained in occultism.
All right, so it was 4. You spent the points to go down to 3. Identify takes you down to 2. Occultism takes you down to 1. You only need a 3 or better here to prevent Gil Ravage from coming through.
Roll the 5.
Awesome.
Zander, you move through this door, and it feels like you are being stabbed with a knife. like your heart is being sliced in half with a cake knife, maybe, of sorts. You look down to the cake knife that's in the sheath, and you realize that it's being pulled back away from you, off your belt. As you tried to step through, it started to slice your soul that had been joined with gill ravage. That blood that had been dripping from the knife begins gushing out, and you're looking down and you see that your skin goes pale, as this is your blood that is leaving your body. You are losing part of your life. But you chose to step through this door, and it's too late to go back now. It took one step to make that severance. And you have been parted from gill ravage, but at great cost. Naveen, you see blood pooling out from this veil, this black veil. Whatever happened to Zander was not pleasant. You can see a visual representation of the blood that happened. It's very possible that all three of your friends that went through this veil are now dead. But you don't know, because you could not see past.
She's gonna ask the doorman.
The doorman's
what happened?
mouth is locked shut, remember.
Yeah. She's still gonna ask him. Them.
And technically the doorman is a door right now as well. It changed shape. So you ask out what happened, and there's no response.
She's gonna open the door and try to look in.
The door is already open, but on the other side, where you know that if you look around, you see the rest of the Institute. But the actual frame of the door, the threshold of the door, is just darkness. This just pure black darkness.
Okay.
And that's where the blood was mixing with the water, because these fire sprinklers are still going on. It looks like there was a shark attack. You're going to need a bigger boat, as there was just blood that's pooling in front of this door.
Yeah. Well, if something happened to them, she needs to help them. So she's going to step through.
You step through as well. And that is when the four of you who have passed through this threshold, through the door, find yourselves as if you're going to work. You find yourselves in the main Magnus Institute. It is in the evening. Maybe you look at the clock. From when you left, it was around 9 o'clock at night. It looks like it's about 10:30 or so on the clock. It could be 10:30 a.m., 10:30 p.m. There are no windows down here for you to tell, but you look around at the walls, you see that these are the updated, modern Magnus Institute, the remodeled Magnus Institute. Your cubicles are there. You see Emily's cubicle. You see the flowers that are nearby on that community table where often you would bring coffee and donuts, and you see the flowers. The last set of flowers that she bought are still sitting there in a vase. They look brand new, as if they were just bought a couple days ago. It appears that you're home. You look down, Naveen, you had a cell phone, specifically. It shattered, it broke, but it's still useful. You check, you have signal. You see the date and time. You've only been gone a couple hours.
Naveen kind of looks around. Is like, is everybody okay? It look really bloody.
Zander, you are in intense pain. As you look down, you realize that there is a cut going down your arm. Very clean cut, as if you were cut by a knife, but you are bleeding profusely from this cut.
I'm injured.
Naveen will move over, and she doesn't have any medical training, but is going to try and staunch the bleeding at the very least.
Naveen goes, she starts putting pressure on it, grabbing some cloth and wrapping it around, holding it tight. Frieda, Lucian, how are you two adjusting to this change in surroundings?
Is Rowan with me?
Rowan is with you, yes. You are holding him, and he looks confused and bewildered.
Okay. And she'll just kind of like look at Lucian because like she has this child with her now, and she just kind of looks down at him and she's like, well, we did it, we got out. We should call 911 for Zander, or whatever it is in Germany, emergency services.
Yeah. Lucian
will wants to take a hard look around the room just to be sure.
One final intellect test. This is a very familiar place to you. Difficulty 2.
Perception,
absolutely.
And then, because I haven't used it, so I might as well use it now, I'll use my librarian's pupil Cypher, which is specifically for perception skills.
Lowers it by 3, right?
Yes, so it should be 0.
This is an automatic success. You did not get an effect, though.
Yeah.
You look around. Your memory is sharp as can be. You started to lose it there for a second, but then it became strengthened as you remembered you were digging deep into your calculations, your rituals, and you started thinking about all the details. And you realized that part of that ritual that you cast involved remembering every single detail of the Magnus Institute as you knew it. So it feels fresh. And as you look around, every single detail is there. Down to the last millimeter, nothing has been touched. This institute is exactly as you left it.
He will step over to the nearest desk phone, and he will lift it. He will dial 9 for an outside line, and then he will call emergency services.
From here, we're going to fast forward into a bit of a montage as paramedics come and they take care of Zander. We see Zander is in the hospital for a little bit, being treated for this wound. There are a lot of questions about whether it was self-inflicted or not, but as far as they can tell, he seems that he's not trying to kill himself. Naveen, Frieda, Lucian, you're able to return home. You find every detail of your home is exactly the same as if you had left earlier that day, and you had a long day. You solved a whole case that day as you were going to Berlin to interview, and you came back, and it's just, was it all a bad dream? It couldn't have been. It was hours, days of your life gone, and yet, according to the watches, it was just minutes of your life gone. However, Emily is still nowhere to be seen. As you show up for work the next day, Emily is not there. You start calling around emergency services or something like that. Let's go ahead and pass it off to you all. What does your epilogue look like here? I want to go around the circle. We'll start with Frieda. What does this look like as you have Rowan? Do you pass him off to child protection? Are you going back to work as if normal? How do you handle this?
So in the immediate like aftermath of things, she does go through the whole rigmarole of reporting Emily as a missing person, because she is, even though we know where she's at, there's still steps that have to be taken. And she also reports Rowan as a child who has been found, and before we do so, we do get it to be where he comes up with a different name of a family that had passed, and she goes through the steps of adopting Rowan, and eventually she does have her own family. And then years down the line, she continues to work in the archive at the Institute, and eventually she kind of takes up after our Institute leader, the archivist, steps down. Maybe it has something to do with Emily's disappearance, because maybe he's listed as the last person to have seen her. And Frieda takes over as the archivist of the Institute. And she has her own little family now with Rowan.
Yet, as the years go by, your career begins to flourish. You are moving up. You're taking care of Rowan, and Rowan never seems to age. His years, 2-3 years go by. Rowan himself stays 9 years old. And as you're heading to work one day, you've just kind of... It's strange, but you've accepted it because he acts like a little boy. But as you look back, you see him sitting at the breakfast table. You see the sun is shining bright through the window. And you look at the table in front of him, and there is no shadow. And he just looks up at you, and you see this wide smile as he says goodbye. Naveen, what do the years look like for you?
Does the numbness from the venom, does that recede at all?
Yes. So it takes time. You went to the paramedics with Zander. It takes a couple days. They say that you were likely poisoned, and they say that like maybe an allergic reaction to something, but it goes down within a couple days.
Okay. She is gonna fairly immediately try to get a hold of Albert and see if he got out.
You call Albert. There's never any response. As time goes on, there's posters at this parking garage that's covered with graffiti saying "Missing Security Guard. Have you seen Albert?" and so on. You have pictures of his friendly face, you know, that messy blonde hair.
Yeah.
But no one has seen Albert again.
I think that is between that and Emily, and I think she stays with Magnus for a couple of years, and but I think it's too overwhelmingly like personal for her. So she ends up marrying her long-term boyfriend Hans, who is weirdly tall, actually, and very wealthy. It probably has a trust fund, actually, and she moves to Hamburg with him and quits the institute, and just kind of has a pretty quiet life with him, in as putting as much distance as she reasonably can between her and the institute.
Zander, you had to recover from your injury. It feels that you never really fully recovered. You never got back to 100%. You only got back to 90%. There was always 10% missing. You can't really explain it because your muscles start feeling the same way. That the strength is there, but there's just... You can never quite do everything you were able to fully do. Just not quite as well. What kind of toll does this take on your life?
Yeah, I tried returning back to a normal life. Back to the institute, going every day. Steady job. The condo with the curtains always drawn. Waking up at night, terrors. Feeling like there's that voice in the back of his head. Gil Ravage still calling him, trying to listen for her. But every day, it just feels like something's missing. Eventually, on his route home, he sees a dog. German Shepherd. He's always wanted a pet, but hadn't had the time for it. But always follows him back home. Ends up adopting it. And you see a little collar name tag around it. Gil.
Lucian, do you try to stay at the Institute? What do you do?
Lynne immediately takes a few days off. I think we are entitled. But as long as his sister is at the archive, Lucian remains. Particularly because he is concerned that she will have a similar fate as Emily. So he remains there, not out of intellectual curiosity, but more as a familial obligation. He starts to be a better worker as well, showing up on time, which is shocking, occasionally early, sometimes even bringing little treats to the office for people, pastries and the like. He continues to live out of his 1986 Datsun Cherry. However, he has overhauled its exterior slightly. He has given it a custom paint job. It matches somewhat the new wave or movement of tagging that we have seen throughout Hamburg by the renowned graffiti artist Delta. It's interesting how the aesthetics, the themes, the tropes become commonplace. That of doors, flowers, and of a very fair-looking woman, the German woman. Perhaps if you look closely, you'll see a resemblance to a certain archivist who works within the Magnus archives, or once did, and perhaps occasionally shows up on a missing persons report. But she is immortalized, at least, in the industrial centers of Hamburg, in the alleyways, and of the Datsun Cherry that he still lives in.
Lucian, let me ask you this. This ceramic figurine that came back with you from the darkest house, what do you do with it?
I think he will immediately, I think he will turn it in. I think he will turn it in. I think he will turn the bone cutter's tome. And I think he will unload off of his person items that he has found to be a conduit. He gets into his mind the notion that through his art, he has perhaps invited some of this occult evil. And so he tries to refocus a bit. And so he logs it, yes.
You log it. The very next day, you show up to work, after spending time off, obviously. And you come in and your desk, your cubicle, has that ceramic figurine on it. You notice that this middle-aged woman is older and looking a little bit more haggard. You ask around, did anyone bring it out? No one knows what happened or how it came out. You log it again. And again, it shows up on your desk the next day. And again, maybe perhaps you try destroying it. You start crushing it. You trash it. All sorts of different things to get rid of it. But each day it shows up and it looks a little bit older. Not at the same speed that it aged in the darkest house, but it is aging in front of you. And this plagues you for a good amount of time. Months, almost a year, until you see that this figurine begins to decay itself. Like the clay that was holding it together has aged in such a way that it begins to crack. Until one day you tried to get rid of it or you accepted it, but the next day you show up in your desk and instead of a figurine there, it's just a pile of dust. You can trash that dust, you can log that dust, whatever you do, but the next day it's gone. You're finally free of this curse. You forget about it for a little bit until one day you wake up and you look in the mirror of your Datsun Cherry and you look at your face and your face has aged. Instead of the figurine, you are aging faster. How are you responding to that?
How fast are we saying?
Probably about 5 times faster than you should. For every year that goes past, it's about 5 years. Your life is being dramatically shortened.
Then nothing that he has described is something that he would have changed. It is also more motivation to do such a thing, to infuse into Hamburg, the city of his home, a bit of beauty before he is taken. He's a rational man. He can put 2 and 2 together. He sees that he has taken something from the house, and the house is now taking it back. So he does not work to fight against it. That way lies compounding the problem.
With that, we overlook the city of Hamburg. Hamburg was not built in a day. Its skyline is an eclectic mix of style, design, and material. We zoom in these canals to an island where we have this beautiful church. Church, it looks like it's dominated the landscape for millennia, but now it's just shrouded by a 4-story parking garage and office buildings nearby. There's layers of graffiti, not quite graffiti, murals. Mural of a beautiful German woman, a young German woman, overlooking this church fondly. We see a tour guide speaking to a group of people in front of this church. Moving past them, we see this elderly man. He's almost struggling to walk. He's so old, but he's wearing this black beanie and sunglasses. He moves past the tour guide and down to a set of basement steps. Who knows where? We hear the tour guide talking that the church was mostly destroyed during the Second World War, but has had several restorations since, and it's been known for its organ since the 15th century. Johann Sebastian Bach himself has played within these very walls. And St. Catherine's traditionally served as a church for sailors and merchants and wanderers, and it's said that anyone baptized within these walls would always be able to find their way back home. We zoom in closer on the church, down these steps following this old man. He opens the door, it's labeled Magnus Institute. We see a middle-aged Frieda Dürer. She's carrying paperwork. Johanna seems to be well herself. She's even older, even crotchetier, but she's still doing paperwork, and she's managing that front door. We close the Magnus Institute door, and we see that familiar lock, the lock that was in the chest of the doorman, but it's a much smaller size now. We see that there is paint cracked on the door around this lock as it kind of fragments into this sort of... It's natural, but it looks like a sort of floral vine, this sort of floral pattern that the paint is crackling into, spreading across this door. And that is where we will end Magnus Archives. Call it a night. I know we went a little late tonight, guys. I appreciate you bearing with me. And we got out of the darkest hour. Well, most of us got out of the darkest
Jesus.
Let's go.
Most of you did.
Holy shit.
Is that all right? That all right?
Stopping
We did
Gil
okay.
Rabbit.
Yeah.
It was fucking
No
cool.
one died.
Yeah, no one important.
Emily...
Mel died.
No, Emily didn't die. No.
True.
She's the doorman now.
Transformed
Yeah.
into
So you
a door.
You didn't get anybody.
Oh
Didn't
man, I didn't
die.
get a single kill. How did I not get
You
a
get a
kill in
single kill.
Magnus? And
You got a
Darkest Hour?
transformation, which is totally different.
And
Totally different.
there was a door in between the doors, so my thing didn't come true either because I said the next door we opened was going to be the door out, and it wasn't. It was the second. So
It
no
was close, I'm sorry.
TPK, no door. I don't think anybody's protection.
All right. Let's do some shout outs because it's late. Let's get out of here. My Trey, what do you got going on?
I am meant to play games on YouTube where I make system agnostic or multi-system tabletop content that centers the GM and player experience.
Fantastic. I am Steven. I made a game called Huckleberry. It is on BackerKit right now. It's doing okay. We've got 345 backers, about 36,000 raised. We're doing all right. We've got about 25 days to go, so you got plenty of time. You got plenty of time to back it, but if you back it now, that would be appreciated. BackerKit.huckleberryrpg.com will take you there. Links are in the chat. Thank you, Mel. Jeff, what do we got going on with Lollygaggers?
Oh, yeah. Well, speaking of Huckleberry, tomorrow we are playing Huckleberry. Everyone here but Steven, because he's too good for us, but he is just telling us that we have to run the game. So we're doing that apparently. So yeah, we're doing that. So that's tomorrow in our normal Call of Cthulhu time. And then Monday, maybe Somewhere in Danger, my game that we're still kind of screwing around with. We'll see who's up and available for that. Tuesday, our dear friend Kipster is running us through some Hardwired Island. It's a cyberpunk millennial indie game. It's pretty awesome. And Thursday next week, I think we're off because normally we'll be playing Legend of the Mist, but I think we're off next week. But probably some Conan next Friday. So that's where we're at, man.
Fantastic. Were we raiding someone?
Yeah, Insomnia Night RPG. Our friends over there, they're doing some dungeon crawling. So I figure, what is more similar to crawling through the darkest house than a dungeon crawl? So let's in Insomnia in the kind of lunacy that they bring. So let's go ahead and raid them. Yeah, makes perfect sense.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Later.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Tschüss.
Goodbye.